Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday. Want to continue with our Psalms. Today we will be reading Psalm 5. And again, that's Psalm 5. Did you know that when you do each individual psalm that it is Psalm and not Psalms? It's the book of Psalms, but it is Psalm 5, singular. So, anywho, a little tad bit of did you know today. So, Psalm 5 is talking about trust in God for deliverance from enemies. It's Saturday, but guess what? We're not slumbering. All right, so anywho, this is a Psalm of David. Give ear to my words, O Lord. Give heed to my sighing. Listen to the sound of my cry, my King and my God, for to you I pray. O Lord, in the morning you hear my voice. In the morning I plead my case to you and watch. For you are not a God who delights in wickedness. Evil will not sojourn with you. The boastful will not stand before your eyes. You hate all evildoers. You destroy those who speak lies. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful. But I, through the abundance of your steadfast love, will enter your house. I will bow down toward your holy temple in awe of you. Lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before me. For there is no truth in their mouths. Their hearts are destruction. Their throats are open graves. They flatter with their tongues. Make them bear their guilt, O God. Let them fall by their own counsels because of their many transgressions. Cast them out, for they have rebelled against you. But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them ever sing for joy. Spread your protection over them, so that those who love your name may exult in you. For you bless the righteous, O Lord. You cover them with favor as with a shield. So this is a Psalm of David talking about trusting God from deliverance from enemies. We don't like to think about it, but there are haters out there and people who just don't like us. People who backbite. People who smile in your face and talk about you behind your back. Right? Anybody? Can I get a witness? Do we know people like that? And sometimes we just have to have a talk with God and say, give ear to my words, O Lord. Give heed to my sighing. When we're just like, and we're just over it. We're tired. Listen to the sound of my cry, my King and my God, for to you I pray. So let me ask you, who you praying to? Are you praying to God? Are you looking around at everybody else to give you an answer? People are out here, and there are some people who do us no good. But guess what? God doesn't like that. God doesn't like that. It says, for you are not a God who delights in wickedness. And it goes on down to say, you destroy those who speak lies. So guess what? While you out here thinking about how you going to get back at somebody, you don't need to do that. It's not for you to always vindicate something. Trust God. Because let me tell you something that I know. God will take God's own vengeance better than you ever could. Typically, the vengeance that we try to use and do and take on others is temporary. The things that God does, oftentimes, is more permanent. God doesn't like wickedness. So if you're involved in some wickedness, I say you better stop. Turn away. It says that God destroys those who speak lies. This is David. He was going through some stuff. The thing I like about David wasn't afraid to express how David felt. David was never afraid to say, Lord, I am this, I am that. But you know what, Lord? Lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness. David knew where to go when he had issues. To God. God was David's refuge. And he says in verse 11, but let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them ever sing for joy. Spread your protection over them so that those who love your name may exalt you. For you bless the righteous, O Lord. You cover them with favor as with a shield. Do you know that you're covered? No matter what it looks like. No matter what it feels like. I know you may be going through some things in life. You may experience a whole bunch of losses, but I'm encouraging you today to continue to just trust God. We don't have all the answers. We don't always know everything. Just trust God. Continue to put your trust in God, because one day you'll look back and be like, oh, even though that was painful and I didn't like it and that hurt, I see more of why. Sometimes we just have to trust God, even when it doesn't make sense, even when we don't have all the answers. Just remember to trust God on today. And be honest with God, with your feelings. It's okay. We saw in the previous Psalm, I think it was Psalm 4, there's power in crying out to God. Cry out to God. Fall on your face. If you have never been on your face in tears or just doing that ugly cry, you need to try it. There is freedom in the ugly cry, y'all. You can quote that. There's freedom in the ugly cry. Okay, there's a release in the ugly cry. Okay, let it out and watch and see what happens following that. Okay, I want you to embrace peace on today. Embrace God's love and trust that God has your back. Trust in God for deliverance even from your enemies. Okay? All right. Well, y'all have a lovely rest of this Saturday. Continue to give God thanks and praise. And remember, I love you. I do. Bye-bye. Amen.